And the thing is, I mean, if you're taking the pageant route and you're going to be well known, I mean, there's certain things you can't do. That's one of them.
What's up, everyone? You are listening to episode 10 of the recurring Bosscast, Splitkick's fortnightly podcast. I'm Jet from SplitKick.com. With me is Jason from Inside Gaming Daily and Slick Gaming.
Hey, how's it going?
Also with us is Matt from Biff Bam Pop and the Screaming Ego podcast.
Present.
So what's shaking, guys?
Matt, you go first.
Not too much. Working, keeping busy, playing games.
All right. Anything else?
Yes.
I see on the outline right here. There's a little more to it than that.
That's true. I do have a crazy Tim Horton story.
Okay.
So, Jay, I don't know if you've seen the Facebook post. Oh, actually, don't think I put it on Facebook yet, but it will be. So last week I go into Tim Hortons and I order a breakfast sandwich and a combo, like a coffee breakfast sandwich. And so I take it back to work and I open it up and eat it. And as I'm biting into it, I bite this like really kind of hard something. So I'm like, what the hell is that? So I pull it in my mouth, and sure enough, it's it looked like me to be like some sort of worm.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but it's completely hard, like totally solid.
Oh my lord.
So I, obviously kind of pretty revolted about it. So I took a picture of it, threw it on Twitter, and immediately, like a ton of people were going, "What the hell is that? Oh my god, where was this?" Even to the point where Dean Blundell from Edge 102 actually retweeted it.
Wow.
So he's like, what the hell is that thing? So needless to say, I called, or Tim Hortons actually saw the thing on Twitter, so they DM'd me and they were like, give us your information. We have to figure out what's going on. So they got in contact with me. They actually sent a person that was all dressed in Tim Hortons gear to come down and pick up the object. And they had to do like lab tests on it and stuff like that. And they came back today and said that it was, in fact, a piece of bacon. Which I'm telling you right now, if you see the picture of it, you'll agree with me that it is definitely, most definitely not a piece of bacon. But
Oh, man.
wow.
so I'm thinking of doing some CSI work on it and see if I can get a different answer. But we'll see.
Conspiracies.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
That reminds me of the Christopher Dorner story of the cops just trying to cover up what actually happens. You should go out for justice.
Definitely should. Don a mask and a cape and go out for Tim Hortons justice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just ends with Matt holed up in a cabin with the cop shooting at him. Like, I'm telling you, it was a worm.
Yeah.
I just wanted a breakfast sandwich.
I was so hungry.
Yeah.
Man, that...
Yeah, that's pretty awful.
Yeah, so that was my week. How was your guys' week?
Oh, man. Jason, what's going on?
Really nothing. I mean, on the outline, my things I've did this past 2 weeks is literally the same as what I did the last time. So, by the time this episode's out, we'll be going to that Bulls basketball game on Friday. So that'll be cool.
Excellent.
Hopefully they get out of this crazy slump they're in. But, yeah. And then apartment hunting stories go a little bit further. Laura and I, we thought we were done, but now we wrapped up looking at the apartments we wanted to go with. And we found 2 or 3 that we really like, a lot more than the one we originally liked. So now we're kind of in between which one of those to go with. Oh. And they're still really expensive, but they're in nicer areas, which is good. And they're all really cleaner. And just, I don't know. Just kind of like, which one do we prefer now?
Yeah, for sure.
And they're all open, or they all will have rooms available around late March, pretty much late March, all of April. And that's when I'm planning on moving. So it worked out pretty well.
Nice.
Speaking of clean living accommodations, my office moved. So, roughly the same month, I move apartments and my office moves to a different part of town. And we went out to lunch from the office and a couple of minutes down the street, and the place we went to across the street from there is this place called Fillmore's. Matt, are you familiar with Fillmore's?
I am indeed.
Yes, the gentleman's club / hotel. And just out of curiosity, I go to the website to see what kind of hotel accommodations there are, and they showed the model suite in the picture, and it's pretty sketch. I mean, to their credit, it looks clean, I guess, for a hotel attached to a gentleman's club. But then they show this one picture of the bar, and the bartender is totally naked in the background. It's a girl, yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't. Where were we at? Jason, you were talking about condo stuff. Or moving, yes.
Wait, hold on just one second. I've got a Yelp review here up of Film Wars, and It said that it was the worst strip club experience ever because in the time it took me to drink a beer, there was no talent on stage, and the girls appeared bored, and one was even doing a crossword puzzle. So,
wow.
There you go.
That is a crazy review.
Yeah. So, Jason.
I'm just imagining this, like, I don't know, this stripper sitting there, maybe with or without pants on, just cross legs, doing a crossword puzzle. Nothing's happening around her.
Yeah, one of the girls that I was with, she told me a story about her only strip club experience, and it was that one. And she said that she only saw one girl dance, but just before her performance, she saw that girl smoking crack in the bathroom just beforehand.
Mm.
So, quite an interesting spot, I guess.
Huh. Anyways, that was a...
Sorry to derail your bit there.
No, that's pretty much all I had, so... What else have you been doing besides looking up these crazy reviews?
What's going on? We finally made our big move. So we are now in the Jet Penthouse, I guess, 21st floor of this building. Great view of the city. And our office moved just last week. So it's been a lot of just adjusting to all of the different things that change with moving to a new place and moving to a new office around the same time. Mm. And a couple of months ago, Aaron was actually moving to a house. And it took forever for him to finish his Assassin's Creed 3 review. And at the time, I didn't fully understand why he couldn't finish that review. And now that I've got to write this Fire Emblem review, and I've just been totally out of sorts. There's been just so much life stuff going on of little things that I have to adjust to. And then when I sit down to finally write, my head's just not in the right place to write stuff. Mm. That I totally get it now, Aaron. I feel you. I'm not even moving into a house. And it takes a lot out of you to move. But hopefully I will be all back in the right headspace to wrap that up.
Yeah. There's definitely worse games to be stuck on reviewing.
But yeah, I guess in the midst of all this shuffling and stuff, I've had time to play a bit more a lot more Fire Emblem Awakening. I beat the game on hard, and as I was telling Jason just before the show, I actually got to the second last level, realized my guys were under-leveled, so I went back to an old save and then beat it from there. So I've actually played through the game almost 3 times at this point. I really should get to writing that review. It's really good. I just envision Jack.
If you weren't going to write the review, were you thinking about getting any of the DLC?
Maybe. I don't know, though.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel almost like I've had my fill. I could play more, but I'd almost feel like the time I spend playing Fire Emblem could be used to play something new.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. And because I write about game stuff and we talk about stuff on the show, I always feel this pressure to constantly move forward. So, I don't know. Maybe. There's just a lot of other stuff to get to.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't think the DLC offers much in terms of context. It's all just kind of cool subplot things, so I'll probably pass on it for the most part.
Anyway, what else have I been playing? Not too much. I played Shackdown on my iPhone.
Shaquille O'Neal.
That was free. Yeah, starring Shaquille O'Neal. That is a runner game, and Shaquille runs to the right and punches zombies in the face.
Oh my god.
First of all,
I've never heard of this
We know
game.
Shaquille O'Neal doesn't run. The game is just based on fiction.
Yeah, clearly.
So that is... It was free. I played it once and then deleted it from my phone. It's not that great. Don't do it. What else did I play? I played Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on the Wii U. That is one of the few big high-profile Wii U releases coming soon. I played the demo of it, and my mind, I thought, was playing tricks on me, or just Wii U graphics I thought were really bad because it was shortly after the PlayStation 4 presentation, and I played Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate and go, man, current generation graphics are not that great. And then realized that, thanks to JJ, that Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is actually just a Wii port that's been up-resed. So, I mean, it doesn't look all that great. And I guess my big challenge with Monster Hunter games, I played a demo for the Wii game, and now playing this Wii U demo, is that they just kind of drop you into this world and say, do stuff. They don't even tell you what to do. It's just, you're here.
Yeah.
And without that sense of direction or focus, I just wander around, I hit things with my sword, they hit me back and I die, and I don't know why I'm doing any of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're wildly popular in Japan, and I don't know, maybe I'd like to learn more about it someday, but those demos have not done much to sell me on the franchise.
No.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they didn't really do much in the demo to make you want the game at all. If it's just, you keep dying, you have no idea what you're doing, why would you ever buy it?
Yeah. Do either of you guys have any interest in the Monster Hunter series?
I've been interested in it. I've never played it.
Same.
It's something that I've been wanting to get around to. I just, I don't know what the reason I haven't actually played it is, but yeah, definitely interested in it.
Yeah, I had a buddy in college that just swore by it on, I think it was the PSP was when he had it, and man, he just loved it, but I never got around to playing it, and here we are with this remake of a remake.
Do you think they remade it and like they're releasing it because of the fact that there is such a lack of new games coming out for the Wii U? So it's just ports?
I don't know. I would not be surprised if it was just another Capcom scheme to milk more money out of their existing stuff.
Yeah. Is there really anything that's coming out for the Wii U, like, soon that you're looking forward to?
We were supposed to be talking about Rayman right now, but that ain't happening.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. And it's also not proprietary anymore. It's for all systems.
Yeah. I have a mild interest in Lego City Undercover, but I don't think I would be able to justify spending $60 on that, especially in the same month as Gears of War and BioShock.
Yeah. That's March 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's tough.
There will definitely be Wii U owners that will play it and probably like it. It looks great, but I doubt it's going to make it into my rotation anytime soon.
It looks fun. I just don't know. Like, I sort of doubt the longevity of it.
Mm-hmm. Other things on my plate. Played about 30 seconds of F-Zero, which came out on the Wii U Virtual Console for 30 cents. I got to try my Wii U Pro Controller for the first time. Got to break it out. My brother got it for me for Christmas. And that controller is great. It feels like the 360 controller, but it's got a better D-pad. The triggers are really nice on it. The buttons are really nice. The sticks feel good. And the one thing that I thought would be disorienting is the stick location, because they flipped where the right stick and the buttons are. But I think once you get adjusted to where that is, it all feels wonderful.
That's good.
Think it is going to be a real shame if Nintendo does not do much of anything with that Pro Controller, because it's great.
Yeah.
And they probably won't.
Yeah, I bet you Nintendo will focus on the gamepad.
Of course.
And the Wii Remote, yeah.
Rightfully so. They pack that in with the system. But I would love to see more games use the regular controller, because the regular controller they have made is really good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Did you play... You played Batman with a Pro Controller, right?
Batman.
Or did you play the Arkham City?
Oh,
did you play it with the Pro, or was that with the gamepad when you demoed?
Expo when I played Batman.
Yeah, a while back.
It was with the standard gamepad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's better with the Pro Controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
When I played it at the Warner Brothers event, it was with the gamepad as well.
Alright, so that's about it for me. I know there's a couple things on this list, but I don't think they're worth talking about at this point. So, Jason, what are you playing?
Not too much has changed from last week still, or 2 weeks ago, but I'm still playing Picross 3D for my DS, and I am, I think, maybe 3 levels away, so that's like 30-ish puzzles, from beating every puzzle in the game.
Nice.
Wow.
And I've never actually done that with any puzzle game.
That's awesome.
And like when I say like beat them, I mean I beat every puzzle, every extra puzzle, and got perfects on everything.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. I play it before I go to bed, and so like I sit down, I'll do like 5 or 6 puzzles, and if I have time, like today I didn't have to work, so I woke up and I played 5 or 6 more, and so, multiply that by a few months. So I got so close, and now I'm just like playing it so I can finish it and just be done. Like I have to beat it. So
was it you that was saying that playing puzzle games before you go to bed actually helps your brain?
Yeah, that's what it said in Brain Age.
So that's good.
So yeah, I guess I feel smarter, but it's fun, and I'm excited to be able to put a cartridge back in the case and be like, "Yep, I beat everything." In
There's
this.
nothing
and
more
then
to
never
do
really play it again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas a logical man would trade it in. I'm just going to keep it, and it's going to collect dust. But it's fun. I still recommend the game wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Good luck on that S rank.
Oh man, it's going to be so worth it too. And it's funny because I bought the game used, and the guy that had it before me never erased his data off of it. And when you pick your profile, it shows you how many you've completed. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking like, man, this guy has a lot. He's got like 120. Like he must be like close to beating the game. But nope, there's like 350 puzzles.
Oh
so,
my goodness.
I know, in your face. He gave up well before I did. Anyways, and then I actually got to play and review the first part of the Capcom Arcade Cabinet release through the PlayStation Network.
Nice.
All right.
And I didn't know this until I started the game, but it boots up and it shows a new 30th anniversary logo for Capcom. So that's kind of amazing in itself. But the game, the Arcade Cabinet, is really more of a platform for the 15 games that span like 5 years in the 80s. Yeah. And when you launch it, you kind of go into this menu in the Arcade Cabinet game itself, and you pick what you want to play. But the included games are a nice range of things that are, well known, like Ghosts and Goblins in 1942, nice. And things that you would never really hear of otherwise.
Oh, 1942, I love that game.
I love that game too.
Yeah.
I played mostly on the NES though,
yeah.
But that to me, that's the definitive version because that's the one I played. Just kind of like Contra, where there was an arcade release, but everyone remembers the NES game.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are all arcade ports of them, so they all look really nice. But I liked how each game looks, like it should, but it does have this nice, smooth sort of HD look to it. It's all very, very smooth looking. Nothing is really jittery, like you might have expected from an actual arcade game back in the 80s. So that's definitely nice. And they added online play. And there's extra like art galleries to unlock, and they added this casual mode, which lets you change a whole bunch of, basically they changed dip switches in the arcade cabinet, so you can give yourself like extra lives or max health or infinite continues, things like that. And that is, in my mind, the only conceivable way that I will ever beat some of those games. So that was definitely a nice choice to throw in there. But overall, you'll see it in the review later, but I can't really recommend buying it now because there's only 3 games available now, and they release 3 more every 2 weeks up until April 20th or 19th when they're all released. And each game pack is like $10, so you're going to spend about $50, but if you wait and buy them all, at the very end, it's only $30.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I don't understand why they did it that way, because
I guess if you really want to get them and play them as
exactly, unless you're like super adamant about playing Ghosts and Goblins in somewhat HD, like... You're gonna waste your money otherwise, so it's kind of silly. And I feel like it was a poor choice in release. But other than that, I mean, it's cool. And if you've played the PlayStation 2 Xbox games, the Capcom Classics Collection, there's 2 of them. They literally released all of these games already on those discs. So you're not really getting much value out of that except online play and trophies, I guess, if you want those. But that's it. So. Kind of up in the air. So it's really middle of the road, like which way you should go about buying it. But I would just suggest waiting.
Yeah, when Capcom did their sort of arcade cabinet-like thing on iOS, they released a bunch of Street Fighter 2 games, Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Championship Edition, and then later on, they released the Street Fighter 2 collection of those exact same 3 games, except outside of the arcade collection, and they added a couple of features. And I don't know, they just keep rehashing stuff, but I don't know, for suckers like me, I ended up buying it both times, so who am I to say no to that?
Yeah, I mean, Capcom is the king of the rehash, but I thought the arcade cabinet on the iOS, I think, do you need to pay for each game you play?
So,
like each time? Something like that.
The way it used to work was you got X number of credits per day, and you could play for that number of times, and then when you ran out of credits, you could pay to play again. And then, but then your counter would reset every single day, so you could play a little bit each day. After a certain while, though, they just said you get 10 credits to start, and that's it. And then once those 10 credits are up, you have to either buy more credits or just buy the game outright that you wanted to play. So within that set. So I did buy all the Street Fighter games plus Puzzle Fighter.
Ooh, classic. Yeah, I find that somewhat like credit/quarter mode to be kind of silly. Like, I don't know, if I'm going to pay a quarter or however much it is to get a credit, I'd rather just play the arcade game, not on my phone. So, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's all I've been up to. I really haven't played much beyond those.
Matt, come on, save this. So Jason and I did not have that great of a run of games we've been playing. What do you got?
I actually have been playing. It's like opposite week this time. You guys normally play a lot, and I don't play very much. Yeah, so I actually got Crysis 3. I've been touting my new gaming rig that I've had for a while. So I've been trying to test it out. I in the last podcast talked about Far Cry. So I jumped into Crysis 3. Unbelievable, man. It looks so good. I can't even stress enough how good this game looks. I haven't got too far into it. I actually got it only about 2 days ago, so I haven't played a whole lot of it. I'm about halfway through, I think maybe the second level. But literally, I find myself just, the guy's talking and I'm just looking around on the screen. I'm like, oh, this looks so cool. It's like, yeah. And it's almost, stop talking. I'm trying to look around. At one point, he's leading you, as you first get into this giant dome thing, he's leading you around and he's talking. I'm not even listening. I'm just like, oh man, look at this window. Look how good it looks. Oh my God, look at this grass over here. Oh my God. But, it's cool, man. I didn't play the first Crysis, and I played a bit of the second Crysis. So I'm not really too up on the storyline. And in the beginning of the menu of Crysis 3, there's a previously on Crysis. So it's fantastic. You just throw that on and you can see the entire story this far. But yeah, it looks great, and I will be looking forward to playing that a bit more. I can't really speak to exactly how good the game is, just how good it looks, because as I said, I haven't really got too far into it. But hopefully by next Bosscast, I will have either beaten it or be close to beating it, so I can talk a bit more about it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then I also dug out Saints Row 3, which I don't know about you guys, but I love it. I'm a big Grand Theft Auto fan, and I know now Grand Theft Auto is delayed. So I was trying to get my sort of open world sandbox shooting people fix. And have either of you guys played Saints Row 3?
I have a copy of Saints Row the Third on my shelf. I picked that up on Boxing Day as well. I only played the demo of the first one, and I hated it.
Yeah, see, the first one, a lot of people compared it to Grand Theft Auto, and kind of rightfully so. The first and second were sort of similar. In my opinion, the series didn't really come into its own until the third, because it really it did a few things right in the first and second ones, but the third one kind of nails it. Like, it sort of understands that it's not Grand Theft Auto, and it takes this really sort of humorous, laugh at itself approach to everything that it does. So everything is ridiculous. Like, you can walk around with, like a giant sex toy as a weapon, or like, it doesn't take itself very seriously. And I think that's sort of the humor in it, sort of the best part of it, in my opinion. The missions are good. There is sort of like a storyline to it. It doesn't really, it's not, totally awesome or anything, but it does its part. But it's fun, literally, just to run around the city and kind of take in the sights, and it's got vehicle customization, and it's pretty good. It's a fun playthrough. But again, like I said, it doesn't take itself too seriously. So It's fun to just kind of pick up and play and do a few missions, and I have a good time with it. And if you guys get a chance, you should check it out.
I'm looking forward to playing my copy at some point. I've heard many wonderful things about Saints Row the Third and said, you know what, I should get around to this eventually. So I do have that in the queue, and I will get around to that eventually.
Nice. Yeah, you'll definitely. I think you'll enjoy it. It's pretty fun.
Great.
And then lastly, I have picked up a game called, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, Pixel People on the iPhone.
No.
It is a 100% time-wasting extravaganza. It's basically you are combining types of jobs to create new types of jobs, and then you're building a city based on the people that you manufacture. And that is the gist of it. So you literally just spend hours combining different professions and different people to create new people. And the sort of game of it all is, there's so many professions and you have to try and get them all and build all the buildings and create this giant city. And yeah, it's just a giant waste of time, but it's pretty fun.
That's cool. Laura and I are trying to find a game to play together, and I don't know if we want one that's necessarily cooperative or head-to-head or anything like that, but we downloaded Clash of Clans to play,
Okay.
and I remember seeing it all over like Facebook advertisements and a lot of people on Twitter and sites I follow a while ago saying it was really good. So I had high hopes for it, but it's one of those games where you like build something and then wait for a long time unless you want to pay money, and that's dumb.
Yeah,
So-
it's the same thing.
So I didn't want to play. I just deleted
Yeah,
it.
same thing with Pixel People.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I'm sure it's fine. And if it was like a compelling game where I felt like I wasn't just wasting time, kind of like you said, it just as a time waste,
Yeah.
I would stick with it more. But I want to play a game, not build a barracks and then wait 15
Yeah,
minutes.
totally. See, for me, it's more of a subway commute kind of thing. So I get on the subway,
okay.
I start a whole bunch of things, and then I shut it off. And then the next day when I get on the subway, all of those things are done. So
Oh, actually, that's a great way. Then. Yeah, maybe that's the prime way to play games like that.
yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure everything is going the microtransaction route, where it's like you can wait or you can pay. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think there was a company that just announced recently that all of their games.
I was just thinking about that. I think it was EA,
Was it EA?
but I gotta look it up.
Hold on, I think I have it here.
I don't know.
Yeah, anyways, it was one company though was saying that all of their games, like 100% of their games, are going to be microtransaction based, which kind of sucks if you ask me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's right here. EA plans on putting microtransactions in all games.
Oh, EA. Damn it.
I mean,
they don't have enough money.
it makes sense from a business perspective, but I find it gross when the business model overrides just the integrity of the game itself.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a gaming. I guess they're a gaming company at heart, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I just envision, because they just bought the UFC, so I envision a game full of microtransactions. It's like you can punch, but if you want to learn how to kick, it's going to be $5. So I don't know. We'll see.
Did any of you guys watch the big UFC event that happened recently with the girl main event?
I did.
And?
It's fantastic. I'm a big UFC fan, and I'm actually a big Ronda Rousey fan. So
Alright.
everything, well, spoilers, I guess. Everything worked out fine. She's an interesting fact. For a video game podcast, let's talk mixed martial arts. She has fought 7 professional fights. She has won all 7 by first round armbar, and she has only fought a total of 8 minutes.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So figure that one out.
And Matt, the quality of the fight up to par with the rest of the event, or is the best one, or?
Yeah, no, they were actually pretty good. Honestly, there was a couple of really boring fights in that card. A couple of the undercard fights were really good, but the Ronda Rousey fight was really pretty energetic, and you could tell that they really wanted to do a good job, where they wanted to put on a show. And I think they did it, man. They were pretty good. And of
Awesome.
course, the armbar finish, everybody. And the funny part is, everybody knows she's going to do it, but nobody can defend against it. And they were saying that Liz Carmouche, the girl that she fought, basically practiced defending armbars for weeks, and she gets in and gets armbarred because you can't defend it. So maybe she needs to practice harder. I don't know.
It's just like WWE wrestling where you know the signature move's going to happen, and you're just like, why don't you just get out of that or not put yourself in a position where that's going to happen, but it just happens.
Yeah, it's like I used to watch wrestling when Shawn Michaels was a wrestler, and he'd do that sweet chin music thing where he'd bang his foot on the ground. And if you were a wrestler and you were in the corner and you were kind of woozy and you were getting up and you heard someone banging his foot on the ground, you'd kind of know this is what was going to happen. Yet everyone turned around, got kicked in the face. Yeah.
My favorite moment like that.
It was fantastic.
My favorite signature move like that is the RVD.
Rob Van Dam.
Where Rob Van Dam, for whatever reason, has a chair in his hand, throws it at the guy, and of course the guy catches it every single time and then gets kicked in the face.
Yeah. You never see the guy like, no, I don't want to catch a chair. Forget it.
Yeah.
I know you're going to kick me. Why would I catch a chair?
How about ducking the chair?
Yeah, exactly. Rob Van Dam just stands there. He's like, I have no idea what to do. You're supposed to catch the chair. Well, I guess you can just pin me. I don't know.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good.
And it was good. Because I remember watching, and this is dating me and showing like how I don't follow women's fighting, but I remember seeing one of, if not the first, women's professional boxing match.
Okay.
And it was brutal. It was just very Jerry Springer-ish with gloves on, and there was not much in the way of technique. And, on one hand, it was very entertaining to watch, but on the other hand, it was not that entertaining of a product if you were looking for quality boxing at the time. I'm sure that women's boxing has progressed since then, and...
You were dating yourself a fair bit, because I'm on Wikipedia, and the first women's boxing match was in 1904. So,
yes.
Whoa,
I don't know how old you are, but...
man.
No, but the first, I think, popular one was not in the 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was pre-Layla Ali.
Yeah.
1904, oh man.
Just like back in my day when the girls would get in the ring and fight. Oh, video games.
Exactly.
Now sounds like a good time to get into the Bosscast topic of the week. And in anticipation for SimCity, which is going to be out tomorrow, I believe, by the time people hear this, or at least by the time the show is out, let's talk about SimCity. And I guess all of the Sim games. I've got this giant list of Sim games in front of me, and there has to be a few dozen in here, at least.
Easy.
Let's start. What's your very first Sim experience? Jason, you start.
It's kind of hazy what it's first for me, but I know my first two that I can recall at the same time were SimCity on the Super Nintendo and SimCity 2000 on the PC. I don't really know which one I actually played first. Probably SimCity on the Super Nintendo. But that game was so cool. And I remember when we ended the show last week and got off air and everything, I was reminiscing about the music. Oh man, it's so cool. The cheesy chip tunes from SimCity on the Super Nintendo was super fun.
You threw it in the dock after the last show, and I listened to it afterwards. I was, that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. And that's like if I had to build, a city with music in the background, I'd probably pick something like that. It's kind of like elevator music, but a bit more upbeat. Totally. So... Yeah, but when my brother, I think he borrowed it from his friend, and then it somehow just ended up staying at our house forever. So he played that, and I remember they had SimCity 2000 on the PCs at school, and whenever I would finish work, I would try to go play, and the first thing I thought of was how drastically different it was from the SimCity on the Super Nintendo, but still superior in my mind. It was a much better game. And they're just so fun. There was something really unique about, the Sim game for me. It was my first time playing a Sim, and fond memories of building cities and connecting power lines, and then having Godzilla come and destroy everything.
Yeah, the first Sim game I ever played was SimCity 2000. I remember that moment vividly. I was at my cousin's house, and he just got a brand new computer, and it came with SimCity 2000. And I'd never even seen a game like that before, and I just thought, whoa, it's so cool, you can build cities and put stadiums and stuff up. But when I started to actually try to play the game, I failed horribly at it. I'd put stuff down, but I didn't know why. the reports kept coming in, and people said they weren't happy, and they're complaining the taxes were too high, and all of the little nuances to actually creating a city just were overly daunting for me. So I would just put things up and then get Godzilla to come in, or a tornado, or at the same time launch them and just break stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me clarify that. I'm the same way. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, how are you not happy? There's like 4 football stadiums.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure at the age
I had no idea. I still don't understand the economics of it. So
I'm pretty sure at the age we
I'm in
were,
the same boat
most
you
of
were.
us, when we were playing SimCity 2000, that was basically the main goal, was just cause as much devastation as possible. I don't think any of us really knew how to run a city at that age.
No.
Yeah, I would just let the fire like spread and just be like, yes, burn. And I just did not care. It was just fun to watch.
Nice.
Yeah, once
What
I got
about you, Matt?
Oh, Matt, go for it.
Sorry.
No, what were you going to say, Jet?
Once I got into middle school, we actually had these really old Apple computers that were black and white, and they had the original SimCity on it. And
Wow.
I remember learning a little bit more then about how to play the game, where you build your residential zone and your commercial zone and your industrial zone. So I knew how to do that and put in roads and connect power lines. And then everyone was happy for a little bit, and then all of a sudden people weren't happy, and I didn't know how to fix it.
And that's when Godzilla and the tornado came.
Yep.
Yes.
Sounds like tornado time.
Taxes are too high? This sounds like a job for Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why the game was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, to this day, if you sit me in front of a SimCity game, I probably couldn't figure it out. At least the original and SimCity 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that actually helped perpetuate this notion in my head that computer games are more complicated than console games, and that scene is just not for me. When that's not necessarily true, and they're probably... I don't know, if I really put the time into learning how to play a SimCity game, I probably could.
Mm-hmm. As with anything, really.
Yeah. But, I mean, for the time that I did put into SimCity and SimCity 2000, I did have fun with it.
Yeah,
I knew I wasn't always playing it right, but I guess the beauty of that style of game is that you kind of can do whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty much. Gives you that, like...
And they even had the the map editors, too. You can make your own maps and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean... You guys have anything else to add on the SimCity games in particular?
Well, other than the fact that I never played it on console, ever. I only played the PC version. Mm-hmm. And pretty much only played it at school. So,
Yeah. It seems to be a school thing.
There's a few, only a handful of games you remember playing in school, like SimCity, Carmen Sandiego.
Yes!
Oh, yeah.
Just really, those are the only... What other ones were there?
I love Carmen Sandiego.
I don't even remember.
Oregon Trail, Amazon Trail.
Yeah.
Played those.
But, so that was my first experience, was in school with SimCity.
So, one of the things... Question for you guys. Did your school use SimCity as a teaching tool of any sort?
No.
If they did, I didn't know they were doing it.
Okay, because it was in our computer lab, and I kind of feel like there was at least one day where they tried to teach us how to play it and use it as... if you want to get into city planning, here's kind of an example of how to do it. Because I feel like every school had that game, but it wasn't really teaching anyone anything.
Yeah.
And is there really educational value in SimCity? Maybe? I don't know.
I would say there is.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's the way you look at it. Like, you can definitely play it as realistically as you can and kind of see how, I don't know, you can't please everybody, or how much, how hard it is to just make... roads. I don't know. Something like that.
How easy it is to call Godzilla.
Yeah, that's... I mean, that was a given.
Yeah.
Every kid, should know that.
Godzilla solves everything.
You're in a schoolyard fight
Yes.
and you look up in the sky, you're like, but it works in SimCity. Why isn't Godzilla coming to help me?
You want to know? I remember, I'm pretty positive on the Super Nintendo, it was actually Bowser that came.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty
That's
sure.
awesome.
Or they tried to make Godzilla look like Bowser. But, yeah, I think so.
That's cool.
I kind of feel like SimCity on the Super Nintendo would have been the best one to start with.
I felt like it wasn't nearly as complicated as any of the other ones I've played. So, yes. I remember in 2000, and I would assume most other ones afterwards, I've only played 3000 extensively beyond 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, if you wanted to make a residential zone, you would have, a little patch that you could like pull out to make it as big as you wanted. So if you wanted to do like a 10 by 6 area, you could make that all residential. But in SimCity, at least on the SNES, you only had like a block, like bam, that is residential, and then here's another one. So you couldn't really customize to make like different shaped cities. They all had to be kind of within this like 3 by 3 square.
Yeah.
And that made it a lot easier just to plan things out because you had a lot less choice. And also there was a cheat code on SimCity for the Super Nintendo where you can get like infinite money.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I have played some of the sim games with the cheats on, and I still run into that point of people aren't happy, and it's like, but I have all the money, and I built everything, and I think I hooked stuff up. You're getting water and hydro, right? And
yeah,
there's baseball stadiums everywhere, and I don't see what the problem is.
Everybody looks good for my golden house on top of the hill.
In the clouds, yeah.
How could you not be happy? You have 10 baseball stadiums.
You know, that reminds me, I remember playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. Did you ever play those ones?
No.
Jet, did you play them or no?
No. I have not.
Missing out. But the funny thing is on that one, like, you can see people that are mad, and, like, whenever they would get mad, I would just pick them up and make them drown.
The only Tycoon game I remember playing off the top of my head was Lemonade Tycoon.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is fantastic.
I feel like I've actually played that one. Was that also on PC? Like, I feel like I played it in school.
You probably have.
There was also just like a random lemonade stand game that was popular in school as well.
I played it on iOS a couple of years ago when it was free, and that was a lot of fun. I after hours of play, I noodled around with my formula for lemonade and just got the perfect blend of something that tastes good and is cheap enough to produce in mass quantities. So, yeah, I eventually became like a lemonade tycoon. But yeah,
Jed is a lemonade baron.
Yes.
Yeah, the Baron.
With his hat and a monocle.
and a small mustache.
Yes, and a glass of lemonade.
Pointy ends. Yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other sim branded games. I don't know if all of these are directly tied to Will Wright. Probably not. One of the ones I remember playing on the Super Nintendo was Sim Ant. I don't even remember fully what that was about, but I remember you got specific control of one ant and had to control it to do things. I remember having fun with that, but I don't even remember really what it was about other than you're an ant and try and get through these levels.
Yeah, I remember my parents bought this like Sim double pack at probably the grocery store for the PC, and Sim Ant was one game and Sim Isle was the other.
Wow.
And again, I was still young. I had no idea what I was doing. So I played them for like 5 minutes and was like, nope. So I can't even help you out on that one.
Sim Ant, ironically, might be the one sim game I've gotten the most out of.
Do you build like ant colonies? How does it work?
No, it was a game that just had levels and they gave you objectives and you did them. At least that's what I remember.
Oh, looking at this list, I played Sim Tower. That was also available on the school PC.
Sim Tower?
And it's
I've never heard of that one.
Sim Tower, yeah. I don't know if you're like manager of a hotel or what it is exactly, but you're basically building a tower. So it's like SimCity, but you're going upwards. And like, this one level, and you have to place appropriately place elevators and stairs and like offices and residential rooms, things like that. And kind of the same idea, but instead of people getting mad about taxes, they get mad about like noise or the lights being on, weird things like that.
Got it.
So it was cool. I mean, it's a neat spin-off, but that's all it really was, just a spin-off. Wish I was playing the regular game.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these other sim games. I've never heard of Sim Tunes.
I don't even see that. Where is it?
It's under Sim Golf, and just before...
I've never heard of Sim Golf. Sim Tunes.
Yeah, no...
Oh, man, check out that cover art. You see that on Wikipedia?
Oh, man. Yeah,
dude, that is nuts. There's like...
Let's talk about stuff that people cannot see on Oh, dude.
Go to this. There's like a piano with like googly eyes and butterfly wings. What is it? That is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Bug crawling, music making, picture painting software. Whoa.
Oh, check that out. It says Electroplankton for the Nintendo DS was designed by EY and is considered a spiritual successor to SimTunes.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
I've played Electroplankton.
I've
That one's cool.
Definitely played some Electroplankton.
Wow. Well then.
I like Electroplankton in concept, but the actual game, like, you play it, you burn out of it in like half an hour. But I love the idea.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
I think that it would work best as a 99-cent iOS app rather than limited edition DS game.
DS.
I think I ended up
for
importing
sure.
that from Japan for my brother. There was a Japanese version that had some extra stuff or something.
I've got to track that down.
But yeah, SimTunes, I think that should be the Bosscast topic of the week for the next show after we've all played it, because this looks amazing.
Yeah.
We're all gonna play it. We're all gonna review it separately.
Yeah. I mean, this one is it's from 1996.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, I have not played this one at all.
Dude, you can buy it on eBay for $2.
I don't even know if I would have a computer that could run it, though.
Yeah,
That's the big
exactly.
problem with the old PC games. It would just run super fast, I guess.
I remember looking at the other Sim games. I remember thinking Streets of SimCity would be really cool, but it wasn't. And I don't remember playing it that much. I just remember playing it a little bit because when I heard the concept, I was like, "Oh man, you're going to be like cars in the SimCity area." But then it became this weird like Twisted Metalish like combat game. Let me click on it here. Yeah, it was so weird and like I really at the time I imagined the streets of SimCity being like you would zoom into the street of the city you made and you could like see the people doing stuff, which it was not. But strangely, I think that is what's happening with the new game that's coming out tomorrow. So
Yes.
I guess it just took an extra 12 years to get that done.
They've just rolled in everything from The Sims finally into this new game.
Yeah.
I actually played a lot of The Sims as well.
I love that game.
I do too. It brought that kind of sim idea down to a level that I could understand of just you are a person and it's life. Figure it out.
Yeah, basically.
And I think ultimately that was another game. I guess with all these sim games, I always end up at a point where people aren't happy and I don't know what to do. That also happened when I played The Sims, but I feel like I got a lot more out of it before I hit that point. Because it was just it was a lot easier to understand when it's just basic life stuff like going to the bathroom and eating, and somehow just made that so fun.
Doing the dishes and cleaning up.
Yeah.
Watching
Things you would hate to do in real
Yeah.
life became amazing in The Sims.
Yeah, I just get.
I had... Oh, go on.
Sorry, no, you go.
Okay, I had... well, I guess I didn't. Laura, one of Laura's roommates, and throughout college for a few years, was, I'm going to say, addicted to The Sims, and that is probably the best way to describe it. But she played The Sims 2, like, nonstop. She had a surgery that kind of kept her at home and, pretty much just in bed or on the couch.
Yeah.
So she would play all the time. And I remember she was super excited that Sims 3 was going to come out, so she bought Sims 3 and was like so furious with the game, but like everything that they changed about it, that she just went back to The Sims 2.
Really?
And yeah, and then when she's playing The Sims 2, like Laura and I would be watching a movie or something, and she would just be in the other room like, "God dang it, a stupid thing, just do this," and she'd get like so animated about her sim like not going to work or something like totally obtuse, and we're like, wow, come on. But yeah, man, like I know so many people that just got absorbed by those games. They play them all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big.
I really wasn't one of them. So.
I use the money cheats all the time. I just like to build the biggest house on the block.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun for what it was, but I didn't play beyond the original run. I know The Sims got dozens of different expansions and whatnot. I played the original game, enjoyed it for what it was, and kind of left it at that.
Yeah.
My only real experience with The Sims was The Sims Social on Facebook. And it was the only game that I ever played on Facebook, but Yeah, I was pretty much addicted for like a year. I needed to increase my house value, and
Nice.
I would spend energy, and then I would plan out like my day so I could be like, yeah, I'll come back in a few hours. I'll have full energy. I can play again. I would just keep playing, but my house was awesome. I had like so much going on,
Nice.
and I had an arcade in my house. It was amazing. So,
One other game I remember that my school had was Sim Earth. And I vividly remember having no idea how to even start that game. Of just like, well, you're here, now do stuff, and I didn't know what to do, and just immediately quit. Yeah, that wasn't much of a story, but
That's all right.
that was kind of my run-in with Sim Earth.
would you guys consider Spore to be a sim game?
Yes. I
Yeah,
like
I've
Spore.
not-
I thought it was great.
I haven't played any Spore, but enlighten us, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
Or enlighten me, because I'm the only one that hasn't played it.
Well, Jay brought it up.
No,
Have
you're going to
you-
go right ahead, because I've only played very little of Spore.
So I've played. Okay, so with Spore, you can basically go from sort of this amoeba, sort of in the water before you even have legs or arms or anything, to basically colonizing space and everything in between. So I never quite got to space, but it's pretty fun. I mean, you basically pick. The idea is to adapt and survive, and you have the ability to create basically anything with a vast number of options for, arms, legs, eyes, body parts, weapons, defenses, things like that. So, as you sort of evolve, you get to add things to your body, and you use them to fight off people and take over colonies and sort of evolve your civilization. So I think it's more of a sim life, I guess, in some way. But it's pretty fun. It's a good game.
I remember that getting a ton of hype pre-release, and then when it finally came out, just the verdict, at least from what I saw on the internet, was a bit of disappointment from people, and it never really took off like the other sim games.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think it could have lived up to all the hype it got.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
if you sort of ignored that and just kind of went with it, it was okay. It was pretty good. I mean, it was fun.
Okay.
There actually is a game called Sim Life. Oh my god, that has crazy cover art too. Sim Life, the genetic playground.
Wow.
What?
That's its subtitle.
Okay.
The cover art it's like a rhinoceros head on a tiger's body. Yeah, that's basically Spore. That's pretty much what it
Isn't
was.
that also black and white?
But Spore or Sim Life?
Sim Life.
I found out about this game now. No, it looks like it's in color.
Yeah.
No, I mean the Peter Molyneux game, black and white.
Oh, black and white. Yeah. Black and white. Man, that was a cool game. That's kind of like a sim game.
Yeah.
Sim Life.
Wow.
Did you guys ever play Dark Spore?
No.
No.
No, that was a cool one. That we're kind of straying off topic
That's
because
fine.
Darkspore wasn't quite the same, but I think it's by Maxis. We'll look it up, but it's really kind of like how to describe it? Almost like a Diablo clone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Maxis, and it was the same idea of Spore in a sense. Like you would pick your character to play as this weird like alien creature, and you would pick like a class, and that would determine your abilities, but you would, if you wanted to use like projectiles, you had to have like this tail gave you a projectile shot, or you could give yourself like a clawed hand,
Right.
things like that. And so it was essentially everything that you would use in Spore that looked like it could be a weapon was a weapon in Dark Spore. And you would go in, I think it was parties of 3, and at all times you had your party of 3, and if no one else was playing with you, you would just control all of them at once. I believe it was something like that. And it was cool, and I feel like it didn't do well just because it came out at a weird time, and everyone was probably still just playing League of Legends or something at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth a look. I think I actually found the game for like $2 at some store. I don't remember, so I bought it again. But yeah, if you see it, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Anything else you guys want to add on talking about the sim stuff? Oh, we should talk about the new game.
Yeah, new game.
Of course, this is what we're all leading up to. admittedly, I have not been following much of the new game, but from what I've heard of the Rocket Jump podcast, when they were talking about the demo or the beta, it sounded like there was more objective-based gameplay, where they'd actually give you goals to work towards. And I feel like that would be a great way of introducing someone like me to all of the game's mechanics, where if you give me too many options up front, I'm just going to get completely overwhelmed and stop. But if you funnel me in to start and then kind of leave things open once I have a grasp of how to play the game, then I generally fare a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that would definitely makes me more interested in trying this out.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing, of course, how the game plays, but also the sort of dynamic feature of the city itself. Like, it's more of a living, breathing city that interacts with what you do, and cars get in like traffic jams, and I think like when crime goes up, like buildings get vandalized, you have to take care of all that. Yeah. So I want to see how that aspect really plays out. I think that's really cool. Like, that's the best way to take the direction for the series to go. And I think that could be a really cool feature for the game.
And I think that your decisions literally affect... you can actually go down to the street level and sort of interrogate the individual people walking around to see their level of happiness or sort of content level, which is pretty cool because you can do it in areas that are bad, and you might get a different response from areas that are good, and that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think I don't know if you have to do this, but I think when you play online, like, your city can connect to someone else's city. So, like, my road could lead off and it could go to, like, Jet's, city.
Oh, really?
And so, I remember reading that online. Like, that was an online thing. And I don't know, like, if your city is full of crime, if it's going to, like, spill over to someone else's. But I think the idea of making each person's city essentially become, like, a sim world is pretty cool. Yeah. So, like, if you can go and travel and see, Jet's town and Matt's village or whatever.
Can
I don't know
what you call Godzilla to Jet's town?
Yeah, exactly. So, like, well, what can you do? Because if I went to someone else's town and they were, like, way better than me, I'd start to vandalize stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as Godzilla does not destroy the Fillmores of my town, then fine, do whatever you want. But don't ruin the heart of my city and economy.
I would worry about the Fillmores of your town destroying your town. So
I like it.
Yeah, no, it looks interesting, definitely. And the graphics look pretty good, too.
Yeah, substantial. They're really, really nice. Which, I mean, this is like the first release in the series, like, legitimately since, SimCity 4 it looks like on this list. How long ago was that?
I think so,
That's been a while.
Yeah. 10 years. Wow.
So do you think it's going to live up to the expectations that it's set for itself? I mean, 10 years of development?
I don't know. I feel like the series has been kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
Since maybe SimCity 3000-ish, maybe 4.
Okay.
So I think people are excited about it because they're like, oh yeah, SimCity.
Okay, so
like, that's a great series, and in that sense, it kind of could not live up to it, but I feel like everything that I've heard about is super cool sounding, and if they pull even like half of it off, I think it would be a great game to play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could rephrase the question as, do you think that this is a game that will revitalize the franchise?
Yeah, I think so. I think it should be able to appeal to a lot of people, and as long as they make it so you can play it for like minutes and hours at a time, I think it'll be perfect.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, they need to make it, as really deeply simmy so that people that are really interested in that can play it. But as you said, I think they also need to make it sort of pick up and play as well. Sort of levels of difficulty interchangeable. Yeah,
and I think they can do that with the game, with this type of gameplay. I think they could easily kind of automate the citizens of the town if you just want to make buildings.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you should be able to do that. So I hope it works out well.
And I think you can also like go down and literally take a walk around at street level, or like fly planes around or helicopters and stuff. So it's interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. You think you would buy?
I don't know. Maybe if there's a demo or something available, I might do that.
Yeah.
But
I don't have a computer that can run it, so probably not anytime soon.
Yeah,
that is a good point. When has that ever been like a I don't know. I would never suspect SimCity to be the game that would test my computer, but you might be right.
Yeah, I mean, one, I'm on a MacBook, and two, this thing is ancient. Yeah. So, I mean,
fair.
I'm generally I don't like playing games on a computer, but I would try this out. I think I have been away from the SimCity franchise long enough, and I have matured enough as a game player that I think I would be willing to give it another shot. And this sounds like, at least from what I've heard so far, something that I would be able to grasp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you put it pretty well. That's exactly what it is.
All right. We are, I guess, pretty much gone to the end of the road on this particular one. We are...
Pun intended.
Matt, you have to go soon, right?
I do. I have to go brave the weather up north.
Oh, man.
Drive safe.
I've got one quick mini Bosscast topic of the week, and then we'll wrap things up.
Let's do it.
All right. PlayStation 4. Thoughts?
All right, Jason, you go first.
Yeah.
On the spot, go.
Yeah, I actually watched the presentation, and I thought the presentation was great. They did a good job, and they showed everything that Sony needed to show. Again, a lot of the speculation and rumors were true, but for me, the takeaway was I'm impressed. I think the sim. I think the PS4 looks really good. The idea of it, at least, and I like how they're incorporating more of the social functions, because I think that is a big wave of the future for the next generation. Yeah. And the graphics look great, but I really could care less as long as it plays games that are fun. And the only thing I'm really skeptical of... I also like the DualShock 3 or 4. It looks really cool. Yeah. So they did a good job with that too. But I'm only really skeptical of the game streaming service, like through Gaikai, and how that's going to work. Just because I feel like they could really, really take advantage of streaming through Gaikai and releasing back catalogs of PS1, 2, and 3 games, giving you free games through PlayStation Network, and I think that could be really cool. And it could be a deal breaker on Microsoft's Xbox 720 Durango or whatever. So, but we didn't hear about it. So I think once we know about that and a price and what the machine actually looks like, I think that'll hammer in the last 3 nails. And I think I'm on board already.
Yeah.
Wow. High praise.
Yeah, I liked it.
I would say I agree with that. The only thing that gets me is the price. And I think, Jet, you and I sort of vaguely talked about this offline. I'm not... I mean, a $5.99 price point seems like too much in this day and age.
Yeah, steep.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm excited about it. I think I agree with pretty much all of Jason's points. Just the price gets me. I mean, I really don't see them selling as many as they think they're going to sell at $5.99. They've got to do something about the price.
Yeah, I think the rumor was IGN ran a report that rumored to be $429, $529.
Or $5.29, rather.
And that's still expensive.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I was just crunching some numbers and thinking to myself, just to get started, let's say I probably wouldn't bother with the cheaper version of the PS3, so it's $529 plus a game plus tax. That's a $700 investment just to get going.
Yeah,
and then there's an Xbox probably coming around the same time. I can't afford both of those things.
No.
So
yeah,
at most, I'm probably going to get one of those. And even then, I don't know. Because last year, it was the Wii U or snow tires, and I went with the Wii U. And
you swerved all over the road to get your Wii U.
Man, yeah. Terrible.
But winter's almost over.
Yeah.
So
I'm not here now.
Yeah.
2013, probably the year I've got to get snow tires on this car. So
sorry, PS4.
Yeah.
Sorry, PS4. Sorry, Durango.
It's funny if you think about all of the time you had to get snow tires, you picked the year of the PS4 and Xbox 720 launch.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jet.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also echo a lot of what you guys said. I liked what I saw. The biggest thing that stuck out to me was it seems like there has been a very big philosophical shift over at Sony, where this time, last generation, it was the whole Ridge Racer and all the bravado and all of the just crazy hyperbole about how much horsepower it had for the sake of horsepower. Mm-hmm. That doesn't seem like the Sony we see now.
No,
it's a lot more of...
Yeah.
we're going to make this thing powerful, but it's going to be powerful for all of these reasons, and we've kept developers in mind, we've kept players in mind, and we're going to give you the best gaming machine we can.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm very excited for the PS4.
Yeah.
I think my only big concern is all that streaming stuff. It all sounds great, but I have my concerns that it's not going to pan out as advertised.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, though.
Yeah. Here's hoping.
Here's hoping.
The selling point for Jet is going to be when PlayStation announces another press conference that says that each PlayStation 4 is going to come with a complimentary set of snow tires. Jet will be jumping up and down.
Yes!
Yeah, it'll be a pre-order bonus for like ATV versus MX number 5.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap things up, because Matt, I know you've got to go real soon. What do you got going on?
So I've got, what do I have going on? Let's see. Oh, right. So we're doing a sort of Marvel month over at Biff Bam Pop. And so I got a couple Marvel articles coming up. I'm going to take a look back at some of the better Marvel video games. I don't know if you guys have played. I talked about it, and I wrote an article about one earlier. Maximum Carnage for the Super Nintendo.
I remember that game.
So fun.
So good.
I loved it. I'm going to talk a little bit about the X-Men arcade game.
So good.
I know. When he said, write something about Marvel, I said, yep, no problem.
Yeah,
I know exactly
really.
where I'm going with this. And so I got those, and I think there's with the new G.I. Joe movie coming out, I'm going to do sort of a retro G.I. Joe piece coming up. So
Cool.
And with the Screaming Eagle podcast, we have another recording this week, I believe. So should be out sometime. Should be sometime after this podcast gets released. So a double whammy of me.
Nice. Did you solve, or did anything get resolved with your Valentine's flower situation?
Yeah. So, well, somewhat. They actually ended up delivering her flowers the next day. So she got them, and I'm still sort of on the line talking to see if there's any chance of a refund, which they assured me that it is possible, but I haven't heard back from them. So generally the way it goes with them. So if I get one, great. If I don't, lesson learned, and I won't be going with them anymore. So
Yeah. I actually had not the exact same scenario because the flowers got delivered, but I was talking to Steph online throughout the day, and I'm just like waiting for her to say something about the flowers, and I'm just trying to like poke and prod and ask her questions to make her say, yeah, this thing came in, but eventually she let me know.
yeah.
But I'm very sorry to you and Liza that things didn't work out
That's
as
okay.
planned.
No problem. She's good. She's understanding. So
Great.
yeah.
Also, I should send you the site that I used because they worked wonderfully.
Yeah,
So,
definitely do that.
yeah, don't use the 1-800-Flowers.
No, never again.
Also, listen to the Screaming Eagle podcast for the full story.
Yes, absolutely.
Jason, what's going on?
Oh, my dog's up here. Anyway, I over on the anthology site, my blog collection site, I'll be finishing up by the time you hear this. I'll have all of my PS1 games logged, finally, which took weeks.
How many?
And that's actually pretty exciting.
How many games in the PS1 stash?
Over 200.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're all there, but you can search for them that way. And I'm trying to do this thing where each week I'll do a featured game, and I'll try to put a special slot for it on the website, and I'll do a little video thing for it, and it'll be nice.
Awesome.
And then beyond that, I have next episode of Game Hunter. The video series should be coming out by the time you guys hear this too.
Nice.
So that should be cool.
Awesome. For me today, but in the meantime, you can definitely check out everything that's happening on Splitkick. There is a big piece on the PlayStation 4 where a bunch of the Splitkick editors got together, shared their thoughts on the PlayStation 4. You can also check out Aaron's review for Kentucky Route Zero Act 1. We do also have a review of Aliens Colonial Marines from Jim.
Oh man.
Spoilers, not good.
No, it's not. It is like that got a really bad score on Splitkick. Based on the reviews I have seen, admittedly, I have not seen every single review on the site, but it is tied for the lowest score I've seen on that site
Wow.
to date. And yeah, definitely listen to the Rocket Jump podcast. What else is going on? Old Game Plus and Bits of Reality. You can email us at bosscast@splitkick.com if you'd like to share your thoughts on the show or ask us any questions. Gaming stuff, non-gaming stuff, stuff about Fillmore's, you name it, we've got it.
Yeah, definitely. We're Fillmore specialists.
On Twitter, you can reach out to us at Maddie Lang, at Jay Jasicki, at Jetlandicho. Also, subscribe to us on iTunes.